In the heart of the Golden Desert, where the Nile winds like a ribbon of life, there once ruled a pharaoh unlike any other. He was wealthy beyond measure, powerful beyond question, and feared by all who lived under the blazing Egyptian sun. But this pharaoh carried a secret fear, one he never spoke aloud. He feared death. And so, while other pharaohs prepared for the afterlife, building tombs to honour the gods, this one defied them. He believed he could outsmart eternity. His name has been erased from every stone, wiped from every scroll, hidden by priests who feared the curse he left behind. But fragments of his story still survive. This is the legend of the pharaoh who tried to cheat death.
Pharaoh Akensar had ruled Egypt for decades. He had conquered enemies to the south, expanded Egypt's borders, and filled his palaces with gold and lapis lazuli. Everywhere he walked, people bowed their heads to the ground. But power, no matter how great, could not silence the whispers of mortality. Each night, as he lay in his gilded bed, Akensar's thoughts darkened. He would picture his heart being weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the judgment of Osiris, the endless silence of the tomb, and fear would claw at him like a shadow. "I am Pharaoh. The gods chose me," he told himself. "How could they expect me to surrender to death like a common man?" And so he resolved he would never die. The gathering of secrets. Akensar summoned his greatest priests and magicians to his palace. Torches lit the walls with flickering light as the pharaoh's voice thundered, "Find me a way to live forever. Fail me, and you will join the dead yourselves." The priests bowed, terrified. They pored over ancient scrolls hidden deep in temple vaults. They found incantations older than the pyramids themselves, spells meant to protect the soul in its journey beyond. The magicians whispered of rituals so dangerous, even speaking of them could bring curses. But Akensar demanded more. "I will not trust the gods with my soul," he declared. "Build me a tomb so strong it can hold death itself. Brew me potions that make my blood eternal. Carve spells that bind my spirit to this world." And so work began. The architects designed a pyramid greater than all others, hidden deep in the desert, far from the Valley of Kings. Its walls were lined with black granite, harder than any stone, inscribed with symbols not of prayer but of defiance. The magicians ground gold into dust, mixing it with rare herbs. They brewed potions that shimmered like sunlight in jars. The pharaoh drank them eagerly, believing each swallow chained him further to life. And in the heart of his unfinished tomb, statues were raised, statues of gods, not in worship, but in prison. Chains of stone bound them, their eyes carved shut. It was said Akensar meant to capture even Anubis himself. Years passed. As other men aged, Akensar seemed untouched by time. His skin unwrinkled, his voice powerful, his step firm. The people began to whisper, "The pharaoh cannot die. He is more than a man. He is eternal." Some bowed to him as a god. Others trembled, believing he had cursed the land. For strange things began to happen. The Nile's floods grew weaker, starving the fields. Locusts devoured the grain, and black storms swept across the desert without warning. Still the pharaoh only laughed. "See, even the gods rage at me, but they cannot touch me." It was on the longest night of the year, when the desert was silent and the stars burned bright above the pyramids. The pharaoh awoke. The air was colder than it had ever been. His golden torches flickered and died, and in the corner of his chamber, a shadow moved. At first he thought it was one of his guards, but then it stepped forward, and Akensar's heart froze. A tall figure, cloaked in darkness, the head of a jackal, black as the void, eyes glowing with fire. It was Anubis, the guardian of the afterlife, the one pharaohs prayed to. But Akinsar had tried to defy. You cannot be here, the Pharaoh stammered. I am eternal. I have bound my soul. I am stronger than the gods. Anubis tilted his head, silent at first. Then, in a voice that shook the chamber, no man escapes me. Not pharaohs, not kings, not even those who believe they can chain eternity. Scene 5. The bargain. Akinsar fell to his knees. Wait, I will give you treasures beyond measure, entire temples in your honor. I will make all of Egypt bow to you. Anubis only stepped closer, his shadow stretching across the walls. You do not understand, he said. The balance must be kept. Your arrogance has broken it. But Akinsar was desperate. Take my enemies. Take my priests. Take anyone. But leave me. The jackal god leaned close, his fiery eyes inches from the pharaoh's. You were given power to guide your people. And instead, you used it to defy the order of the universe. For that, Pharaoh, you will not be judged like other men. You will be cursed. Anubis reached out and placed his hand upon the Pharaoh's chest. Akinsar gasped, clutching at his heart. The golden amulets he wore cracked. The potions in his blood turned to poison. The spells carved into his skin burned away like smoke. He collapsed, choking for air, his eyes wide with terror as he realized nothing he had built could save him. With a final shuddering breath, his body fell still. But his soul did not rise. Instead, Anubis dragged it down into a darkness deeper than death itself.
And so, the Pharaoh who tried to cheat death, cheated himself instead. For in his hunger to rule forever, he ensured that his name was erased, his kingdom forgotten, and his soul lost for all eternity. A warning carved into stone, hidden by time, yet still clear today. No man, not even a pharaoh, can escape death. Not then, not now, not ever.